Hello and welcome to this video where today, as you can tell, we have a very grand occasion, and that is hitting 31 subscribers on this channel. Thank you so much, by the way. I still can't believe it. It's just very much beyond me. I never thought I would get any traction on this channel. I'm just a very amateur person doing what I love, but I'm very grateful that you find enjoyment in that nevertheless. So to celebrate, I decided to make a few changes on what you see here. Firstly, I'm wearing a suit that I got on my birthday, and I thought, since I'm faceless at the moment and I can't eat cake or blow out a candle, maybe I'll just wear a suit and that'll be our special subscriber mouse something. And I've also noticed that my table gets in the frame on a lot of these videos, so I decided to spice it up a little bit with Mr. Darcy and Bridget Jones from Bridget Jones's Diary, my OTP, and this drawing of a woman next to a tree, which I accidentally tore, so I put it here, I taped it back together, and there's a moon here, and this is just some pretty celestial washi tape. And since we have a lot of books here today, I got you this beautiful lemon diffuser as a substitute for a candle on this gorgeous holographic toaster with a color changing back. So we're all fancied up today. Let's get started. I have 31 books for 31 of you, and the first one is something I bought with my own birthday money, and that is Letters to Vera by Vladimir Nabokov. A lot of you might not know, I am a huge fan of letters and love letters and just writing letters to anyone. So this book is right up my lane because it's written specifically to Vladimir Nabokov's wife, Vera. And he is such a romantic person. Like, he calls her my dear life, my tender song, my sweet night. And I'm just like, oh my god, let me eat that up, please. So I'm very much looking forward to reading that, and I will definitely do reviews on all of these, so you should look out for that. And then we have The Ice Palace by Tarjei Visas. I don't know much about this, but I've heard it's beautiful, and it's a very short classic, so it just sounds absolutely gorgeous. It's all about winter and ice and things related to that. I think there's a metaphor involved in it somewhere. But I decided not to know too much about it, to just not spoil anything for myself. And then we have Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric LaRocca. This is a story about an online forum and how people get to know each other and what happens at the end. It's very psychological, it's very dark in a way, but I'm excited to go into it and see what it's about. And then we have The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Agawa, and it's about a professor and his housekeeper, and his memory only pertains for 80 minutes. So it's kind of this interesting dynamic to see how this person remembers tons of mathematical formulas but doesn't remember general things like a normal human would remember. So I'm very interested to see how it plays out. And last but not least, we have Hungry Hearts, 13 Tales of Food and Love. And this is just a beautiful book. And it's all about South Asian families and writing and culture, and as a member of that society, I can't get enough of it. So those were the 6 books I bought on my birthday with my birthday money, and these are the rest of the books that I have bought recently that I haven't showed you yet. The Picture of Dorian Gray, this beautiful edition that I love. If you didn't know, Picture of Dorian Gray is a story about a man who was very beautiful, who gets a portrait of him done, and then something happens, I think, and basically the more his portrait ages, the younger he gets. So it's just kind of this interesting dynamic on life and living and, youth. Then we have Piranesi by Susanna Clark. I don't know much about the story, and I'm not gonna tell you much about the story because I've heard it's best to go into it blind. So I have this beautiful shiny edition that I'm really excited to dig into. Again, I'll be talking about all of these. And this is a book I'm really interested about. You Will Get Through This Night by Daniel Howell. Oh my gosh, I love this man. He is my favorite YouTuber of all time. I miss him so much, but I'm also very proud of him for doing everything he has. The inside is gorgeous. There's like subsections and things like that. It's basically a mental health guide for those of you who might be going through stuff or might not be, but just need to prepare for the future. I actually pre-ordered this like way back in 2018 when it was first announced, but it didn't come, and I was really heartbroken. And like, the company gave me a refund, but I didn't want a refund. I wanted the book, and I finally got my hands on it, and I would want nothing more than to just read it, annotate it, and hopefully one day get it signed. It's a dream. So yeah, do pick this up. Whether or not like I give it a good review, I will. I have a feeling I will, but just don't wait up for me. Get this if you can. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, incredible book, and I love Dan. I also love Phil. So do support them because I love them. Thank you. Then we have Pumpkinhead by Rainbow Rowell. Oh my gosh, I love this, and I really tried hard to get my hands on the original copy because I'm a huge Rainbow Rowell fan, and she hasn't put out anything in a while, and then this came out, and I was so interested to see her magical writing in an animated format, and the drawings look great. And it's basically about these two characters, Deja and Josiah, who are two students who meet up every Halloween to work on the pumpkin patch, but this was their last batch, so they decided to go out with a blast. It's this very cute, feel-good kind of story that I'm really looking forward to. So excited about that. And then we have The Priory of the Orange Tree. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this big boy. Oh, I love big boys. I'm a chunky book girl. Yeah, you won't find people like me here. But oh my gosh, I heard of this book last year, and it's basically about this fantasy universe filled with dragons, and there's a sapphic romance, and that's all I needed to know. I don't know the depths of it. I don't know the depths of it. It's 800 pages, I think. It's so rich and full of wonderful things. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I'm very excited, and I will definitely let you know how I feel. Then we have Winter in Sakcho. This is a book by Elisa Shua Dusapin, and it's basically about this French-Korean woman who lives in Sakcho, which is a town in between the borders of North and South Korea, and she works in a hotel as far as I know. So it's just about her adventures, her life, just a slice of life type of book. Really cute, really interesting. Highly looking forward to it. Then we have Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Oh my gosh, okay. So I'm not a big fan of the fake dating trope, but I do love queer romances. They're my favorite. So I read the writing of this book, and I just liked it so much. It was very Rainbow Rowell-y, that cute, quirky, punchy, but not cringy type of writing. So I was like, heck yeah, I gotta get my hands into this. Boyfriend Material, do check it out. And this is a release I'm very excited about. It's by Maxine Mei Feng Chung, The Eighth Girl. Look at that cover. That is beautiful. This book is about this woman who has 8 different personalities, and as far as I know, something happens, and she has to find out whether these 8 personalities are her asset or her adversary. And it's just really interesting and really such a impressive debut novel, I think. The concept itself is unheard of and so cool, so I'm very excited to get into it and see what it's all about. Next up we have Snow and Rose by Emily Winfield Martin. This book is basically a retelling of Snow and Rose, the original fairy tale. And the inside is so beautiful and it's filled with illustrations. My favorite one is of this, with them and the cat. So I actually don't remember the original fairy tale that much, so before I get into that, I will read this and that and kind of just have the full experience, because I love fairy tales and I love fairy tale retellings. I think they're just so wonderful. And then we have For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. You know it, you know it. It's basically the story of how a king's second-born has to be sacrificed to the wolf in the forest because, you know, the wolf captured all their gods. And then she goes there and she finds out that the wolf is not actually a wolf, it's a man, and there are far more deeper secrets than they know of. So it's all about her uncovering the mystery and saving everyone. A very, very interesting story. Then we have The Call of the Wild by Jack London. I actually have a copy of this, which my teacher gave to me, but it's illustrated and I kind of don't want to read it because it doesn't have much space for annotating, and I know I want to annotate. But this one also has very cute illustrations and these little boxes of extra information, which as a literature student will be really helpful. And it also has paraphrases because I'm aware this language might not be something that I'm very comfortable with, so we'll make great use of that. And then we have The Time of Our Lives by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Bokra. So this is so interesting because it's about a girl who is ready to kind of move on to college and the rest of her life, but a boy who kind of wants to settle down with his family and stuff. And it's written by an actual couple. These two lovely people. So, as someone who has always kind of avoided sad love stories, I really just want to get into the thick of it and kind of just hurt and feel and love. And this is something that's not in my comfort zone, but I still wanted to give it a try because it looks interesting and uncommon. And I'm all about that life, so there we go. And then we have Breasts and Eggs by Mieko Kawakami. This is such a cool book. It's basically about this girl named Natsuko and her older sister Makiko and their daughter Midoriko. I mean, the Makiko's older daughter. Yep. So basically one of them wants breast enhancement surgery, and Midoriko, the teenage daughter, doesn't speak, right? She doesn't speak. Something traumatic happened to her and she doesn't speak, and it's just about their three dynamics and how they deal with them. And it's kind of a commentary on feminism and women's livelihood in Japan. I also got this for my birthday. It was such an interesting read, and I didn't even open it because this is such a beautiful, beautiful cover. I want to preserve it for as long as I can until I actually have to open it and read it, so yeah. And then we have Writers and Lovers by Lily King. This is a beautiful book, and it's about this woman who is in her 30s, and she's really worried because all of her friends are getting married and she just got out of a breakup, and she's really working hard on this novel, but nothing's coming out. And then she meets these two incredible people, and she's just in a crossroads on what to do and who to choose. And as someone who's growing up myself, I feel like I need and I could use these sort of coming of age, wondering what to do type of stories, because I'm very much going through them as well. And this is something really interesting. BTS Icons of K-Pop, the unofficial biography by Adrienne Besley. So I found this at my local bookstore, right? And I've been a fan of BTS since 2015. I've followed their lives very closely. They're a very huge inspiration to me. So I was very interested to see what an unofficial biography would have to offer. And it wasn't a cheap price, so it has these little member profiles. and it talks about Bangtan bombs, and on many occasions it has pictures of them, like in here. I got the local copy, so of course they're black and white, but it just seemed so interesting to just own a book about BTS and read it. I will definitely breeze through this whenever I need a light and easy read of something I know. So I'm very, very interested to see how well it was executed, and I will let you know on it. Next up we have Kafka's Letters to Milena. Oh my gosh, like I mentioned, I love letters. I just love everything. So this is incredible. It's Kafka's Letters to Milena, who I find out that was also a writer, but unfortunately most of her works were burned or destroyed. And that makes me really upset, but apparently her personality comes through in his words. So I've heard he's also a very romantic person, so I'm just very interested to reading them and finding some inspiration for my own expressions of love. And then we have Out by Kirino. This is a novel about a woman who murders someone, and it's about how she deals with it, and it's a big boy. Like I said, I love big boys. Oh, look at the cover. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's a big boy. I'm very excited to read it. I will read all of these in this year. Don't worry. I will definitely get to all of them. Neil Gaiman's The Graveyard Book. If you didn't know, this is basically the story of a boy named Bod who lives in a graveyard, and it's just basically about his experiences living there until he finds someone who claims to have killed his family. And now he's just on this adventure to find out more about this guy and what he did and what to do. And then we have Margaret Rogerson's An Enchantment of Ravens. Wow, look at this. This is a standalone YA fantasy novel based on this woman who is a painter and this fairy who she has to paint. But then she messes up when she paints sorrow in his eyes, and fairies aren't supposed to express sorrow, so she's kidnapped until something happens. I think like some adversary, I'm not really sure. And then they have to kind of work together, and it's this kind of enemies to lovers romance kind of like dynamic. And I'm a sucker for enemies to lovers, so I'm so excited. I'm sorry if I don't know much about any of these books. I like to just get books that I know are good or just like the sound of, and I like to go into them blind because I feel like that's the best way to read a book. So sincerely, I'm very sorry, but I hope you find something worth reading in this collection. Next up, we have My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Baitwaite. This is an incredible book about, as you can tell, a character whose sister is a serial killer. She kills all of her ex-boyfriends, and it's just about how she has to clean it up. I think this concept is outstanding, and I can't wait to read it. It's gonna be incredible. Holy shit. Okay, then we have E.M. Forrester's A Passage to India. Fun fact about this book, I did not know it existed until this aunt of mine asked me, like, hey, what book are you reading for your A-levels? And I was like, I don't know. The Kite Runner, Dr. Faustus, things like that. And then she asked me, well, what about A Passage to India? And I was like, I don't know about A Passage to India. We don't have one. And she was like, no, you must read A Passage to India. And I was like, dude, what book is something I must read? So I got it, and it's basically, it says on the back, a compelling portrait of a society in the grip of imperialism. A Passage to India depicts the fate of individuals caught in the great political and cultural conflicts of their age. It begins when Adela and her elderly companion, Mrs. Moore, arrive in the late Indian town of Chandrapur and feel trapped by its insular and prejudiced British community. Determined to explore the real India, they seek the guidance of the charming and mercurial Dr. Aziz, but a mysterious incident occurs when they're exploring the Marabur caves, and the well-respected doctor soon finds himself at the center of a scandal. Ooh. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm sorry if my reading butchered it all. I'm just like, I get nervous sometimes, but yeah. This book is going to be awesome. I can't wait. And like the hype I got from someone who doesn't read much, but like talks about a book so highly, is just something else entirely. Then we have Ulysses by James Joyce. This is a very popular classic book, and I'm ashamed to say I didn't know much about it at all. In fact, I got to know it to play after I got it. But it's just described with so many incredible things like diabolical, obscene, richly elusive, revolutionary, modernistic, and experimentalism. Like, bruh. I'm again deciding to go into this blind. I just want to get right into it and just lose my mind, honestly. Look at that cover. So beautiful. And then these are books that an uncle got for me. So I have no idea what they're like. I have no idea what they're about. And he has a kind of different conception of me. He still thinks that I'm someone who is very young and someone who reads middle grade books, which honestly, as someone who is holding on to their youth desperately, I highly appreciate. I would gladly read these middle grade books and hide my pain. So as I don't know much about them, I will read the synopsis to you and you can decide if you want to read them for yourself. So, Far Away by Lisa Graff says, CJ's Aunt Nick is a psychic medium who speaks to spirits and passes on their messages. In fact, Aunt Nick's gift is the only way CJ can talk to her mom, who died just hours after she was born. So when CJ learns that her connection to her mother is about to be broken forever, she's determined to find a workaround. She sets off on a road trip with her new friend Jax to locate the one object that she believes will tether her mother's spirit back to Earth. But what she finds along the way challenges every truth she's ever known. It's up to CJ to sort out the reality from the lies and to figure out who to trust. And what she finds might just surprise her. So this book, I feel like, is going to be really good for me to learn how to grieve properly, because I have a really hard time with that sometimes. And it has really nice designs on the top of the pages. And I feel like CJ's aunt isn't what she says she is. So, very interesting premise. I'm very happy I got this and I'm very excited to get into it. And then we have Deb Coletti's The Weird and the Wild. Ooh, look at this. It's a hardcover. I really love hardcovers with like embossed covers into it. And there's pictures. Oh, that's so nice. So it says, Henry has no choice. Something must be done. Vlad Luxor continues to rule the timeless province with a cruel hand, and now he's screaming about the inners and the outers and us. It's all getting worse and worse, except for one amazing change. This time, Henry has friends to help him in the face of pure evil. Aww. And as everyone knows, with friends by your side, you can tackle anything. Well, maybe not anything, because when the meanest boy in school is turned into the stinkiest, weirdest creature ever, Henry, Joe, Apollo, and Pirate Girl are asked to do the impossible. Breaking the spell will force them to go soon on their most dangerous, frightening adventure yet, through the wilds, the forest of knives, and a lodge in the woods belonging to the most terrible bully of all, Vlad Luxor himself. Henry has no choice but to take the first step into a mission that may be doomed from the start. Ooh, I'm excited about this. I don't know about you guys. This sounds good. Maybe I am young. I don't know. These things are like genuinely exciting me. This is Out of Left Field by Ellen Klages. This looks beautiful. It's such a beautiful book. Look at that. Oh, okay. Maud Nelson, Jackie Mitchell, Tony Stone. These women were legends on the field, but no one remembers them except 10-year-old pitcher Katie Gordon. Like her heroes, Katie won't take no for an answer, even when it seems like the whole world wants to get between her and her baseball dreams. Oh my gosh, this is like a feminist baseball story? God, that's beautiful. And on the inside it says, no girls allowed. Man. Okay. This is gonna be very good for my inner child self-esteem. I love feminism books. I love books that talk about equality and fighting for what's right instead of just believing in norms and stuff. Next we have The Treasure Troop, The Hidden Room. And it says, join Marley, Isla, and Sai, three code-cracking kids on the hunt for hidden treasure. Aww. Does this have pictures? Yes, it does. Oh my gosh, look. That's so cute. Oh, man. I can't wait. Honestly, these are more exciting than the books I got for myself. And this is by Eva Iboston and Sibyl Pounder, Beyond Platform 13. And it says, three unlikely heroes need to save their beloved island of mist from the evil harpies. Prince Ben, heir to the throne of the land of mist, he was raised in our world until he was 10 years old. Oj Gribble, hag. Okay, hag. Alright. Prince Ben's best friend and a part of the rescue team that brought him back to the Island of Mist all those years ago. Lynn Lasky, human. Due to a miscommunication, Oj and Ben believed that she was the mistmaker expert they sought out to save their island. Despite her lack of mistmaking expertise, she still proves to be an invaluable member of the team. Will these three, along with an unlikely cast of characters, be able to defeat the harpies and save their land? I'm sorry. Harpies and hags. The characters look very witchy, Scooby-Doo-esque. I'm intrigued, but I'm a little worried about the hag. Just a little. I love the font though. It's very interesting, very cute. And yeah. Those are the 31 books, but I got 3 books in the meantime, which I want to talk to you about. The first one is Putul Putul Khela by Mashuq Al-Hussein. This was given to me by my dad. Thank you, Dad. And I think it's just a book about child's play. And I'm very interested to see what it's about. The cover is really beautiful. And I will definitely let you know. I will read more Bangla books and I will do reviews on them. So, don't worry about that. We have all the range here. And even when I learn more languages, I will read those books and talk about them as well. So, next up we have A Castle in the Clouds by Kirsten Gur. This is basically a story about a girl who works in a hotel. And just stuff happens, I guess. I don't know much. I tried not to. I love going into books blind, but I'll read the synopsis. It says, A Castle in the Clouds follows a girl as she navigates secrets, romance, and a danger in an aging grand hotel. Way up in the Swiss mountain, there's an old grand hotel steeped in tradition and faded splendor. Once a year, when the famous New Year's Eve ball takes place and guests from all over the world arrive, excitement turns into the vast hallways. Sophie, who works at the hotel as an intern, is busy making sure that everything goes according to plan. But unexpected problems keep arising, and some of the guests are not who they pretend to be. Very soon, Sophie finds herself right in the middle of a perilous adventure, and at risk of losing not only her job, but also her heart. Scandalous. I love that. I can't wait. And for the last book, this is something that means a lot to me. Look by Zan Romanoff. So this is one of the books that my uncle was also supposed to get me, but he lost, unfortunately. And it's basically about this girl, Lulu, who is a social media influencer whose video of kissing another girl blows up on the internet, and she loses hundreds of followers. Her boyfriend breaks up with her and her whole life is in shambles, and she just doesn't know what to do. And then she meets a girl named Cass, who slowly brings her back to her feet, steadies her down. And I just think it's really important and really relevant in a time like this. And there's a heart over there. So, important stuff. And I got it printed. Even after it got lost, I got it printed. Because I just think it's something that's very important and just really needs to be discussed. It's a story about what you present versus who you really are. about real intimacy and manufactured intimacy and the blurring of that line. It's a deceptively glamorous, feminist, emotionally complex, utterly compelling, queer coming-of-age novel about falling in love and taking ownership of your own self, your whole self, in the age of social media. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's all the books. Again, I want to tell you a big thank you for everything you've done, all the views, all the comments, all the likes. I know it's not much, but it means the world to me. Thank you so much for everything, and I will continue working hard and making better content for all of you so that, we can keep enjoying ourselves. I might be a little inactive right now because I have my AS coming up, so I just want to focus a bit more. But I do have plans on making a bit more study-related content, so, we can have a bit of both. But yeah, thank you so much. Take care, stay safe. And until then, I will see you next